And when I say health, I don't mean how skinny you are, because I feel like in today's society, a lot of people equate health to being skinny. Health is not about how thin you are, it's just about how you feel from the inside out. Next one is stop spending so much time worrying about what people think of you. I am sorry, but sometimes you have to not honour your mother and father. Forgive me, do not get married at such a young age. And I got married at 25. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea. Grab a cup of tea or your favourite drink and some biscuits. I've got some biscuits and my favourite, well, this is just water. We are going to be talking about the lessons that I've learned in my 20s. I am 31, I turned 31 this year, and it's been a wild ride. So I thought I would come on here and just talk about, all the things that I have learned and just do a bit of reflection. So let's get into it. I got my notepad so that I don't forget anything that I want to say. And the first lesson I would say is start working on your health now. And I know this sounds like all airy-fairy. And when I say health, I don't mean how skinny you are. Because I feel like in today's society, a lot of people equate health to being skinny. Health is not about how thin you are. It's just about how you feel from the inside out. And I'll give an example, right? So I had lots of antibiotics last year. And this is an example. As a result of that, I've had really bad reflux issues with my gut for the last, I would say, excuse me, coming up to a year now. I've had issues with my gut, and that means that I can't eat certain foods. Certain foods, like very high citrusy foods, affect how I feel. Like I'll be burping, really gassy, feel really nauseous. So that's what I mean by be curious about your health, see what works best for you, see what foods, how your body reacts. And our bodies definitely change as we get older, because I remember so vividly when I was younger and I'd be buying junk food and my dad would be like, oh, I don't want that. I'm like, why? And he was like, oh, I don't want that nonsense. Your body changes as you get older. You get a different appetite. You just start eating differently. Whether that's for the worse or for the better, it just depends. But I would say health is wealth. Without health, you don't really have anything. It makes your quality of life massively decreases if you are not well. And as I say, well does not mean skinny. Just work out what foods suit you best, work out a routine that keeps you fit and well and healthy, and research, do trial and error. I've had to do lots of trial and error, and I'm still in my trial and error phase. Next thing I would say is take people at face value. Now this one is a bit tricky. I'm gonna zoom in a bit actually so you guys can see me a bit clearer. This one is a bit tricky, and I mean tricky in the sense that I think in my early 20s, I was very partial to forgiving people. I'm not saying that I am not impartial to forgiving people now, but I just think that I don't know, I gave people too much leeway. And I think sometimes when you give people too much leeway, they take you for granted. So if someone is showing you who they are, take that at face value. Don't start sort of dissecting yourself and blaming yourself for other people's actions. People are showing you who they are. Take that and run with it. And I'm not saying, as I said, there isn't opportunities for forgiveness if people hurt you, but just be wise. I could go a lot more into that, and I will do when I get to friendship breakups. Next one is stop spending so much time worrying about what people think of you. And I did this a lot, especially in my latter 20s. And I'll give a great example, YouTube. I used to do YouTube so often, but then I got into my head about, oh, this person thinks this, and what if they think that, and yada yada yada. Sometimes people are jealous of the things you do, and other times they don't actually care what you're doing, or they may make snide comments on stuff that you do as a sort of way of distracting you. It's a distraction. So instead of focusing on what people think of you, do the things that you love and bring you joy. At the end of the day, it's all about you, and I don't mean that in a selfish way, but other people are doing what makes them happy, so focus on doing what makes you happy. And I know that sounds really straightforward and airy-fairy, but you generally have to focus on yourself and not on what others' perceptions of you, because the perceptions that others have of you is very different to your actual real life. Next thing I would say is go to therapy. I started therapy when I was 22, then I went back again when I was, I want to say, I gave birth at 27, so I want to say 26. I started therapy again at 26, finished up I went back so I finished up before I had my daughter, then I went back when I was 28, so that's 3 times, and then I am now having therapy again. So therapy, I just can't like quantify it. Like, it's just such an amazing space to work through anything. And I think a lot of people think, oh, like, I've not had this massive life event, there's nothing wrong with me, I don't need to go to therapy. There doesn't have to be a massive life event, or you don't need to have something wrong with you to go to therapy. It's just a place where you can explore yourself more, get to know more about yourself, or maybe you have childhood trauma, or maybe you've been through a very traumatic event. I actually need to go back to therapy right now. I'm in couples therapy, and that's sort of like maintenance, really, just because, you know, it's good to sort of keep the wheels turning over. But I need to go to personal therapy because I am going through a lot in life right now. And maybe at some point, I feel like I do want to share like a testimony of everything that's happened in my life the last couple of years, but it's not appropriate right now because I'm going through it, and it's just, sometimes it's really hard to share things when you're going through it. So when we come out on the other side, I will come on the internet and scream about God's goodness, but right now it's intense. But therapy has allowed me to just get a better understanding of myself, why I am the way I am, and why I respond to things. And you don't have to be in therapy forever. It's not advice to be in therapy forever. Therapeutic breaks are really, really good because it gives you a chance to, one, put the things into practice that you learned in therapy, but also gives you a break to take your foot off the gas, because therapy can be very intense at times. I've just been having this conversation actually with my best friend Gabby. It's very intense, so it's okay to take a break, and it's advised to take a break, but it's good. Like, there's nothing else that I can say about it to convince you. I would just recommend you go there. Next one, I am gonna say, it's very controversial, but sometimes family isn't always on your side. And I don't mean this to say, because, you know, when I was growing up, right, the phrase that was always thrown around was blood isn't thicker than water. No, sorry, blood is thicker than water. So meaning like blood relations, you know, hold much more weight than friendships that you make, you know, that aren't, you know, directly related to you. But I have to say this with the most conviction. Some of the nicest and best experiences I have had, and people who have held me in times of real trial and tribulations, have not been my family. It has been friends who have showed up for me, close friends who are there for me to lean on, who will drop anything to help me. And I'm not saying, now I'm not coming on here to bash family, I'm just saying that sometimes blood isn't thicker than water. So drop that saying, or people like, oh, you must honour your mother. I know, like, obviously I come from a Christian background, and the phrase that always sticks in my head is like, honour your mother and father so that your days may be long in the land. I am sorry, but sometimes you have to not honour your mother and father. Forgive me, Jesus. Sometimes, and I'm not talking about my mum and dad, because my mum and dad are great. Our relationship is in a great place now. But sometimes your family they just be doing the most, and they are more toxic than the people. So, like, I've heard this saying that people say friends is the family that you choose, and sometimes the people that you choose and aren't related to you are better for your mental health than the people that, you know, you don't choose, so your family. And there's so much that I could say about this, but I'm not trying to be messy on the internet. I'm just saying, if you are finding that you are in an environment that is very, very toxic and it's affecting your mental health, and it's being sort of caused by family, but you feel really strong obligations to your family, I just want to encourage you to take a step back and think about who holds you most, who respects you most, who regards you most, who listens to you most. And sometimes that's not family. And that's all I will say on that. The next one is also very controversial, and this is something I would definitely do different if I was not in a phase of my life that I am now. If I wasn't So 31-year-old me, what am I trying to say? So yeah, if I was talking to 22-year-old Chelsea, I would say to her, do not get married at such a young age. And I got married at 25. And I know that's not young compared to other people. And this is no shade to my husband. I just think that society encourages, it's mostly women who have these pressures on them. And I'm not saying I got married because society pressured me to do this. I'm just saying there is this sort of like status quo that you must follow as a woman that gets imposed on us. And if you don't go to therapy, if you don't find time to explore who you are as a person, you end up just doing what society says you should do, or is the right thing. So you go to school, you go to college, you go to uni, you come out of uni, you get a job, you find a partner, you get married, you have children. And if I was to go back, first of all, I would not go to uni at 18 years old, because I feel like an 18-year-old has no business going to university. At 18, unless you know, like from day dot, that you want to be a dentist, a doctor, architecture, you know, those careers that take quite a long time to, sorry, I'm so blocked up, that take quite a long time for you to reach the end goal. If you for sure 100% know that you want to do that, then yeah, I would encourage my child to go to university if they want to pursue that. However, I have a daughter now. I would not encourage her to go to university at 18 years old. I think 18 is just way too young to know what you want to do. And I've spoken to so many people who went to uni because it was the next thing to do, the next step to take, the next step that everyone follows. I feel like in school you weren't really encouraged to explore. Like, you don't have, there was no like, you don't have to go to uni. This was the next thing to do. And if you didn't do it, it's like, oh, okay, like you're a bit of a failure because you didn't go to uni. And obviously there's this sort of prestige, like I was the first person in my family to go to university, and whilst that's great because it means that you've achieved and attained certain grades or whatever, and that's, you know, that's good, like you worked hard, you did it. I just feel like, yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do at 18, so I chose sports science when I went to uni because I didn't know what I wanted to do. If you don't know what you want to do, then take a break for a year or 6 months or whatever it is. Figure out, learn more about yourself. What are your interests? What are your actual interests? Because we have been institutionalized up until then. Like, we have spent basically all those years in education in settings where we're basically told what to do. Yeah, we have choices when it comes to GCSEs or A-levels, but the choices are very limited. So I would say to 18-year-old me, do not go to uni, take a break, figure out what you like, figure out who you are, and then, yeah, once you figure that out, then you can go to uni at any time. There's no sort of, you must do this at this certain time in life. And then that leads me on, I guess I was sort of tying in uni and marriage together. I just think I would encourage young women to live on their own, or even if you live at home, because people obviously in this financial, you know, climate that we're in, it takes a lot to be able to afford to live on your own as a young person. What I would say is, yeah, get out of your comfort zone. Don't do the things that are, you know, comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, having security. But if I was to go back, I would definitely spend some time living on my own, exploring who I am as a person, instead of pursuing relationships and pursuing this, because I just feel like I just needed a bit of time to breathe and a bit of space to myself to, yeah, just be in touch with myself more. So that's what I would encourage. I'm not discouraging marriage. I'm just saying, once you get married, then it's not just about you anymore. It's about the other person. There's a lot I can say about that. But yes, what I would now encourage my daughter to do is not to go to uni at 18. Spend a bit of time exploring who she is. And I'm not saying I don't believe in young love. I don't want to discourage people from being in love at a young age. I'm just saying marriage, being in relationships is not the be all and end all of everything. You can be single and happy and thriving and figuring out who you are as a person. Next one. Oh, I need a drink. Next one is friendship breakups. Now, I've experienced one friendship breakup, and that was in my late 20s. And it was extremely excruciating. Like, I've never experienced a friendship breakup like this before. I've never experienced a friendship breakup. Like, I was friends with this person since I was 18. So we've known each other for more than a decade, shared a lot of things in our lifespan. From 18 to, I would say the friendship breakup happened when I was 30. So that's 12 years. That is a very, very long time. And the thing is, friendship breakups are just really hard to navigate because those are the people that you choose. It's not like your family who you're forced to be around. Those are the people who you choose to be in your life. You pursue those friendships because you love the person, like you genuinely enjoy being around them. So, I mean, it was really hard, and there was no sort of big blowout. There wasn't any like, I hate you, this isn't working. The relationship just ended, and it wasn't on my terms, and I think that's what hurt the most, not knowing what actually happened, like what was causing this friendship break. And I've done a lot of soul searching, spoken to my mum, my stepmom, my sister, all my other friends to sort of find out, like, because I'm not above reproach. Like, if I'm acting mad, then I want you to tell me, but friendship breakups, they're just another level of heartbreak. So I just want to, yeah, if you're going through it right now, I'm sorry, it sucks. And it is something that a lot of people experience, women experience in their 20s and 30s. That was my first one at 30. And I'm still not over it. So solidarity to you if you're going through it. Next one is spend less time online and more outside. More time outside and less time online. I only became a chronic online user in the last 2 years, I would say. Before that, I just had YouTube. I didn't even have I actually had Instagram when my brother went on X Factor in 2018. So we're in 2025 now, so that's 7 years. But I popped in and out. I never sort of was into social media, and then yeah, I just think that social media is positive. Like, I'm here now, I'm making a video, and I love YouTube. I feel like the reason I love YouTube is because it's not as intense as other social platforms like TikTok and Instagram. I don't have Twitter, I don't really use Facebook. But I just feel like social media is clouding our judgment, it's affecting our mental health, our relationships, our attention span, and that's why I came off TikTok, because I just feel like I couldn't concentrate. And even sitting down to do things like what I'm doing now, recording this YouTube video, I wouldn't be able to concentrate because like it just affects your attention span. So I would encourage anyone to get off your phone and be more present around your family, but also just spend more time outdoors. It's good for our mental and physical health. Next one, I'm on to my last two now, so if you made it this far, good job. Not everything you're good at needs to be monetized. And again, this is to do with social media, because I feel like we live in the era of like, you know, side hustles and do this and make as much money, and people are trying to think of what skills they have that they can monetize. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying not everything that you are good at needs to be monetized. Repeat after me. Not everything that you're good at needs to be monetized, because it takes the joy out of you doing that thing. And there's one thing that I'm really good at. I'm really good at cooking, and it's been said to me on more than one occasion, out of love, not like, you know, you must do this. Like, why don't you start making like a catering business or do this, do that? Because I love cooking, and I must say I'm pretty good at it, but I just think that would take the joy out of it. So if you're watching this, and I think a lot of monetizing skills or things that we're good at comes out of I need to make more money, I need to have a side hustle. And whilst there's nothing wrong with that, like I said, maybe you need to take a step back and look at your finances and make some cuts. And I know sometimes there's some cuts that some things you just can't cut out. We're in a cost of living crisis. Food is expensive, everything is expensive, but maybe you don't need more money, maybe you just need to be able to manage your money better. And that's me talking to me. Sorry if that felt like a stab in the heart, but I'm just saying, you don't need to monetize everything because it takes the joy. I can't imagine like opening, I don't know, a business, cooking, because yeah, then I'm under pressure and I need to get it right, and yeah, it just takes the joy out of it. Last and final thing, and something that I've definitely found in my 20s, like I love to serve others, I love helping others. There's some sort of like topics that I'm very passionate about, or areas in life that I'm passionate about and I love giving to others. So I just wanted to, I know this video is more about like, you know, focus on yourself, do all these things for yourself, but I guess it was good to end, it's good to end this video with me saying that it's more rewarding to give to others and to do things for yourself. And I'm not saying it in the sense that you must self-sacrifice, like you mustn't do anything for yourself and you must give to others first and forget about yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying find something that you can help people with and do it well, because it is so rewarding to help people and to change their lives. You will feel better for it, so that's kind of selfish, but also you're making a difference to other people's lives. And that's it. Those are my lessons from my 20s/early 30s. It's been a wild ride, and I'm sure it's going to be even crazier as time goes on. I think this is the first video where I've not talked about anything related to motherhood. I think I do have like a lessons in motherhood or regrets, so I'll put that here and also down below. But yeah, that is it. I hope you made it to the end, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see